How's it going, everybody? Nerds Rising here, and welcome back to the Nerd Cave. In today's video, we are finally seeing off the Open Great League for a while, and we're gonna do so a little bit differently than we normally do. So first of all, thank you to Mirko Quirk for sending me in these battles. Really cool pick there with the Togedemaru, man. And by the way, sorry if I'm butchering your name. Not sure if that's how you say it or not, but either way, thanks for sending in the battles. And secondly, we're actually going to be showcasing these battles a little bit differently than I normally do. So normally, if you guys are new to the channel, normally what I do is I show around 2 sets of battles, and I show them pretty fast. Obviously, I do try to break them down as much as I can while they're playing, but there's just only so much you can say when the battles are flying by at like 2 times speed. So in this video, Mirko Quirk has just sent us in 5 battles, so I'm going to slow them down quite a bit. Maybe not quite normal speed, but we're going to slow them down, and we're going to break down some of the plays that he makes and the plays that the opponents make, and talk about maybe what he could have done better or what he did really well, and just see if maybe we can learn something from these battles. So by no means am I doing this because the battles are terrible and he makes a ton of mistakes. I actually haven't even watched all the battles all the way through, but I think it just might be very valuable to those of you, myself included, who are constantly trying to improve at the game, and maybe those of you guys who are new to PvP in general. But yeah, just let me know, guys, after watching this footage, let me know what you think in the comments of this style, because if it gets some positive reception, I may actually consider doing this with my own battles as well. So let me know what you think. Either way, if it's terrible and super boring, let me know that as well. I don't want to put out boring content, obviously. And yeah, let's just get into the footage here and see what Mirko Quirk has in store for us with this team. And sorry, as always, guys, the allergies are ever present. So Trevenant lead here. Really not a great lead, and I actually will pause this just for a second. Let's go back. I will be pausing occasionally, by the way, guys, as well, just to talk about some of the plays here. So as you see, the Trevenant lead there, really bad for the Medicham, and obviously the Togedemaru does not want to see it either. So this is a tricky situation where sometimes you guys have heard me say in the past, if you have a really hard response to the lead and a softer response to the lead, you typically want to bring in your soft counter. However, in this situation, Togedemaru is just such a bad safe switch. Like, say he switches in the Togedemaru, which, by the way, isn't really a great matchup for the Togedemaru anyway, and let's say they bring in a Diggersby or a Stunfisk or something, then that Togedemaru is just going to get absolutely obliterated. So Togedemaru is not a safe switch. So despite the fact that Umbreon is his best answer to the Trevenant, he kind of still has to bring it in, because Medi with even energy can't really do much against Trevenant, and what he's going to need to do here is just try to get himself a shield advantage with the Umbreon, or some sort of advantage to where the Medicham is going to be able to handle that Trevenant later on, because the Medicham does have Ice Punch. An Ice Punch with a little bit of energy head start can actually put some serious pressure on the Trevenant here. So this is a pretty nice matchup actually for the Umbreon. Despite Dunsparce also being pretty tanky, Dunsparce only has non-stab charge moves, and Rollout is just an absolutely terrible move in terms of damage. So the Umbreon here should be able to, at the very least, force a shield advantage from this Dunsparce. As you see, their health is pretty close already, and he's already gotten a shield off of this Dunsparce. So now, I think you just commit no shields here, and it looks like based on how much energy he has, he actually might be able to get another shield or KO this Dunsparce. And yeah, he should be able to outpace here, and now the Dunsparce is going to have to decide, does it want to give up the last shield, or does he just let it go? And the opponent actually commits both shields on the Dunsparce, and now this trainer recognizes that, and he's going to aggressively bring back in the Medicham. And I think this is a really smart play. Also knows it's only a Seed Bomb, so can let it go. And now, with a 2-0 shield advantage, this Medicham on Trevenant matchup is very, very different, because the Medi with an energy lead can very easily just shield once here and KO this Trevenant with a second Ice Punch, and still going to have a shield remaining for the back. So I think he's playing this very, very well. I think the opponent probably should not have committed both shields, but either way, he takes out the Trevenant, and now, since the opponent did not bring a fighter into the Umbreon, it's very likely that there's not a Medicham in the back. So it's looking like Togedemaru here might actually be able to sweep this back line now that the Trevenant is gone. And sure enough, there is a Bastiodon in the back. And to be honest, I'm not sure if 2 Wild Charges would KO this, so I think he's making a very wise decision here, knowing that he very dramatically outpaces this Bastiodon in terms of energy generation. He just boosts his attack here, and now 2 boosted Wild Charges will definitely KO this Bastiodon. Can very safely shield up the Flamethrower, and now just overfarm slightly there, and is going to double Wild Charge this Bastiodon, and that is going to be a GG. So despite the very, very difficult lead, I think he played that very, very well. So as you see, if he were to safe switch in the Togedemaru, then the Dunsparce would have come into the Togedemaru and just probably one-shotted it with a Drill Run. So despite the very tricky lead, Miracle Quirk gets a very nice win in the first battle. So this is the kind of the breakdown I'm talking about, guys, that I'm going to be doing throughout this video. So let me know again in the comments if you like this style of gameplay breakdown. And sorry, as always, for the extra sniffling, because Ohio can just not decide what kind of weather it wants to have right now. So in the next battle here, we have a Lanturn lead. This is a very neutral lead. His backline has very neutral play against it. So what I'd like to see at some point in this battle is for him to maybe chip the Lanturn, maybe get a shield, and then safe switch out of this battle at some point. Because when you have a neutral lead and you have a backline that's going to be double weak to something like counter, you have to safe switch out at some point. Otherwise, if the opponent has a Medicham hiding in the back and he lets his Medi get too low, then the Medi is just going to sweep his backline. So I like the shield here, knowing he needs to preserve some health on this Medi. And now, unfortunately, it looks like this is a CMP tie. So going to get some damage or a shield off. But now I really think you probably do need to shield your Medi and then safe switch out of here. So we'll have to see what he decides to do. And he's actually going to just let this go. And again, he does have a shield advantage, but this is a little bit tough now because, like I said, if the opponent has their own Medicham in the back, it's just going to counter its way through the backline. So it does bring in the Togedemaru here, going to get an energy head start, and the opponent actually gives up switch there and brings in a G-fisk. So I think this is a massive mistake on the opponent's part. When you see that you have such a hard wall to a Pokemon, I think you just stay in there with the Lanturn and just let your Lanturn go down, and then when you have switch advantage and your opponent there, you just bring in the G-fisk to the Togedemaru, and literally there's absolutely nothing that Togedemaru can do against the G-fisk. So the opponent gives up switch here, and this gives Miracle Quirk here an opportunity to align his Umbreon to this G-fisk. And I think, I'm not sure if this KOs. He's going to shield it. Yeah, I'm not sure if an Earthquake would KO here. And he actually gets baited by a Rock Slide, which is absolutely brutal there. But I did like the shield. And now he actually overfarms. And this is going to be the Earthquake here. And Umbreon survives on 1 HP. Oh my goodness. So there definitely would have been nice for him to get that foul play off first. Because if that EQ KOs, that still was a lot of HP left for the Togedemaru to have to handle. And now that he's gotten the foul play off, I think a Fell Stinger probably will just about KO here. And I'm guessing they probably don't have a second ground type in the back, so we'll have to see. They do bring in the Lanturn here, so this tells me they probably don't have something in back that wants to see this Togedemaru. And for some reason, the opponent there goes for the Thunderbolt. Definitely would have wanted to go for the Surf here, but now this Fell Stinger is going to KO the Lanturn. And what's going to be in the back that does not want to see this Togedemaru? And it's a Noctowl. And he's just going to go straight for the double boosted Wild Charge here. How much damage is this going to do? And it one-shots the Noctowl. You love to see a Noctowl get one-shotted. And that is a very good game. So again, Miracle Quirk gets a very nice win there in that battle. But I think he definitely should have probably safe switched into the Umbreon a little bit earlier to potentially draw out a fighter. Obviously, it ended up working out, but hindsight is 20/20. If there was a fighter in the back, that game would have gone very differently. And also, the opponent made a bit of a mistake as well by hard swapping in the G-fisk. So next battle, we have a Whiscash, and this is a situation where, despite it being a neutral lead for the Medicham, you definitely do just want to stay in. Even if they do have a fighter in the back, it's just not worth the risk, because if he safe switches out of here, and then the Whiscash switches out and potentially lines itself to the Togedemaru later on, then you're in a really bad situation. So when the lead is neutral, but it hard beats one of your back mons, you definitely do just want to stay in and play it out. So that's exactly what he does. Commits one shield, and now he has switch advantage. and the opponent has a Talonflame, so this is a little bit awkward for the backline. Probably will get a shield back here with a Psychic, which is very nice, and actually is going to make another Ice Punch as well, which is very nice. So I think he's making the correct play here by just staying in and let his Medi get farmed down, because probably will want to just bring in the Umbreon here, despite obviously the fact that Togedemaru can hit this for super effective damage with the electric type moves. A Talonflame with so much energy would absolutely destroy this Togedemaru. So is he going to respect the potential Brave Bird here? And no, calls the Flame Charge. Very nice call there. And now correctly throws one Snarl and then the Foul Play to not allow a full Incinerate to go through. And the opponent just lets that go, which is perfect. And now recognizes that he can snipe with a Togedemaru. And what do they have in the back? They have a Walrein, a Shadow Walrein in the back. And now can very comfortably just shield this up, double Wild Charge the Walrein, and that's going to be a GG. So very nicely played here. I like the fact that he played the lead out for switch advantage, and actually going to go for a Fell Stinger bait here. And this guy's is a situation where I probably will pause. Maybe I will go back here. And yeah, they do shield, which is fine. So going to get the second Wild Charge off and win the game. But that was a situation where the bait was a little bit unnecessary in my opinion. So let's back it up here just a little bit. Let's go back here. So I'm going to tell you guys why this bait was a little bit risky. So we have such a big energy advantage here. The Walrein's only at like 3 Powder Snows here. And as you see by the amount of energy he has, he is very, very comfortably going to make it to 2 Wild Charges. In my opinion, there's really no reason to Fell Stinger bait here, because as you see here, the opponent is throwing their move now. So the opponent's going to be energy dry after this Icicle Spear. So there's really no reason to bait, because as you see by the Walrein's health, this is obviously going to one-shot a Walrein. Wild Charge would probably one-shot a Shadow Walrein from full health. So by baiting here, if you're the opponent, if I'm the opponent in this situation, I know that he has so much energy. He's at the back-to-back Wild Charges. So if I'm the opponent there, I know my only win con in this match is to potentially call a bait. So what I would do if I'm the opponent here is I'm just going to no-shield this first move, because I already know he's at the back-to-back Wild Charges. So by shielding, I'm just drawing out the inevitable of me losing the game. So I call the first move on the very unlikely chance that the opponent baits, and he does actually bait. So if the opponent calls this Fell Stinger bait here, he may actually get to another Icicle Spear before he can get off his next move. So let's say the opponent calls that bait. They still have a shield. They now shield the second Wild Charge, and now they might be able to Icicle Spear, and then the debuffed defense from the Togedemaru may allow that Icicle Spear to actually KO there. So very nice win by Miracle Quirk here, but I think the safer play there is just to double Wild Charge the Walrein and win the game. No reason to risk the bait there and give the opponent a potential win con. So I think we have 2 battles left. Moving into the next one here, Metacham into Stunfisk. This is perfect, exactly where you want to see the Stunfisk. And again, no reason to safe switch out of here, because if you do, you could potentially align your Togedemaru to it in the endgame. So very nicely over farms there. Opponent tries to catch the Ice Punch on a Pelipper and has an absolutely amazing response to this. And I don't think you need to even shield this, because a Weather Ball probably doesn't do half. And oh my gosh, the opponent double resisted Hurricanes there. And at this point, he recognizes that he doesn't even need to really throw a Wild Charge, can just boost up his defense and just farm all the way down. And a Weather Ball will not KO here. So he actually is going to shield this. And in my opinion, again, I'm going to posit, shielding this actually puts you at a disadvantage, because you definitely live a Weather Ball. As you see, a Weather Ball would probably do just a little bit less than half. And the wing attacks are double resistant. So the wing attacks, as you see, are doing absolutely nothing. And by shielding here, the only thing that you're going to be doing is giving yourself more health for this G-fisk to just fully farm down, because your fast moves and charge moves do absolutely nothing to the G-fisk, and the opponent again is making a mistake here. They actually throw energy. The opponent can just safely come in here and fully mudshot farm down this Togedemaru, and there's no really reason for the opponent to throw energy. As you see, a boosted Wild Charge does do a ton of damage, but there's just really no reason for the opponent to throw a move there. So he shields against the Pelipper, which is a bit of a mistake. The opponent makes a big mistake by throwing energy there, and he still does have switch advantage, which is very nice. I really do like his play of bringing in the Togedemaru to the Pelipper, because he knew it really didn't have a lot of play against the G-fisk. So we're learning, guys. By no means am I saying this trainer's playing poorly. He's playing just fine, but there are just a few things that the opponent and him can improve on. So in the end game here, the opponent has a Registeel, and I really do like him just staying in here and chipping this thing down, getting as much counter damage off as he can. And at this point, yeah, this is going to be a GG. The opponent did shield that Psychic, and now Umbreon can very comfortably tank one move and just get to a foul play. And yeah, there's no reason for him to shield this. Knows he can take one very comfortably. And the opponent actually went for a Focus Blast. I think the opponent there needed to Zap Cannon and try to get the debuff. I think that was the opponent's only win con there. So because again, it takes 2 moves to KO the Umbreon anyway, so you might as well just Zap Cannon first and fish for the debuff. And I believe this is the last battle, guys, so Miracle Quirk here is on a 4-5, so very nice gameplay so far. And again, he's using a very spicy Mon, so we'll give him some credit there for running a really spicy Mon. And in the last battle, he has a Mew lead, so not something you see very often anymore, but this is very, very tricky for his team. And again, it's going to bring in the Umbreon. Umbreon is the safe switch on the team, and the opponent does bring out a Medicham. And this is exactly why he has the Umbreon safe switch here, because Umbreon will hopefully draw out that best answer to the Togedemaru and back. And unfortunately, this is actually a power-up punch Medicham, which makes it a lot worse for the Umbreon. So Umbreon, despite being extremely thick, doesn't quite KO the Umbreon or the Medicham with 3 foul plays. And the opponent probably will, since they're running Power-Up Punch, actually might be able to farm down before he even gets to the 3rd foul play. So we'll have to see, and he actually does get there, and he is running an attack-weighted Umbreon, so this foul play might actually draw a shield, and it doesn't. The opponent actually just gives up switch here, and they have a Registeel, so now he's actually looking to be pretty decent here. The opponent did not commit to the shield there to maintain switch advantage, and unfortunately here, it looks like this Mew is actually running Flame Charge, so yeah, this actually might be a GG here, because the fact that the Mew is running Flame Charge, he obviously was calling a Surf Bait there, which I really like. I would definitely have let the first move go as well, but now this Mew can just go straight Flame Charge and probably just Shadow Claw his way through the Medicham, and that's going to be a GG. So I really like the way he played that mid-game out, forcing the either switch advantage or shield advantage from the Medicham. And since he's running an attack-weighted Umbreon, that foul play actually did KO. I think the opponent probably recognized that a foul play typically would just barely not KO, and that's why they no-shielded it. But switch advantage, unfortunately, doesn't end up mattering because the opponent is running Flame Charge on the Mew, and he stays in and plays it out. But yeah, he was fighting a losing battle there. If it's a Surf Wild Charge Mew there, I think that Togedemaru can actually take that game. But unfortunately, the opponent running a little bit of spice and ends up losing the battle. So very well played to Miracle Quirk overall. I hope that the little bit of gameplay breakdown, maybe you guys learned something. Obviously, I am not someone that is the top player in the game. I do hit Legend every single season. I'm not quite there yet, but I do think that I have played this game enough. You know, hitting Legend 13 seasons in a row, or however many seasons in a row, has taught me a few tricks along the way, and hopefully you guys did pull something useful out of this video. So, that being said, Great League is ending. I will be having some Little Cup action probably coming for you guys here in the next couple days, just because I really don't have the best Ultra League squad to play out like the high expert elo ranges. But if you guys want to send me in some footage for the Ultra League, feel free to do so. And also, one more thing, I am thinking about doing something for, like, something I'm trying to decide what I want to call it, but maybe something like the best battles of the month, where I will have a separate submission form if you guys just want to send me in one battle that you think is super cool, like a really impressive win, or a really cool win with a really spicy team. I am thinking about collecting all these battles and then featuring a video, kind of like how Calamontos does his Battle of Spice every once in a while. I'm thinking about doing something like that and then showing like a compilation of really cool battles at the end of the month. And if you guys send me in a ton of battles, if I get a ton of submissions, maybe I will start doing it on a weekly basis as well and having like top battles of the week or something like that. So let me know in the comments what you guys think of that as well. And that being said, let's get into the outro. If you are not subscribed, consider doing so, because the more Pokemon yeah, you know what? Let's just end the video there. If you want to know what my real outro is, just go back and watch my old videos, and have a good day, guys.